everyone, thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those that are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please do not forget to hit on the like button. This is very funny and at the same time very shocking. There is this incident that just happened and it's shocking a lot of people. And why? Because it happened to be an elderly man. This man was caught on CCTV camera stealing from a shop. And what did he steal? He stole laptop. And what this man did was, as soon as he got into the store, he realized that there was a laptop and there was nobody guarding that particular laptop. I'm going to be leaving the video behind so that you can also watch and see for yourself. He now took this laptop and hid it into his trousers that he was wearing underneath the kaftan. And you could see this man, he knew what he was actually doing. It's not like he was insane. He took his time, looked around and checked properly that no one was watching at him, because you can see that in that location, there was nobody around or close to him. He was the only one standing there and he was close to the laptop. And he was trying to check around to be sure that no one was watching at him. In that particular video, the man is seen looking around to see if anyone is watching. And satisfied that no one was there, he now lifts the top of his kaftan, then loosens the belt of his pants that he was actually wearing. He then grabs the laptop and put it into the pants and adjusts his clothes as though nothing had happened. This man did this very, very neatly. And as soon as he heard voices in the background, indicated that people were coming, the man who was difficultly walking is seen trying to limp out of that particular store so that people would not understand. He's an elderly man, so people will feel, oh, probably this guy has issues with his movements. Nobody would even suspect anything. Who would think that an elderly man would even steal in that particular store? So they overlooked it. No one even checked and suspected anything. They felt he's an elderly person. Would you start searching an elderly man? What would you ask him? You won't ask him anything. You just let him go. But unknown to them that this elderly man who they felt or they overlooked because he's elderly was the one who stole the laptop. And it was at the end of the workday that the owner of the store got to see this CCTV camera and they were shocked at what they saw. You know, usually for people that have the CCTV camera stationed in their store, some people have someone who sits down there permanently to watch or see movements or what's happening, especially in very big stores or shopping malls. But in some location of the stores, some people just leave it till the end of the business day. They will now go through the CCTV camera to see things that happened or transpired in the store. And that is when they will get to find out. And at that time, it will be very late for them to even locate whoever has done a horrible crime like this in their store. Few days ago, it was in a store where they sell pets. That's a pet store. And in that particular pet store is all about different pets that either was abandoned and they're out there for adoption. And then when you come in, you go, you see the person in charge, you do all the documentations and everything before you would now go and pick the pet you actually want. This woman and her husband got into the store, unknown to the storekeeper that this couple were out to steal. The husband stationed himself in a different place. They acted like they were checking the pets out to see the one they were going to adopt. Meanwhile, the wife was dressed, covered her face up, with these face masks. She covered it and even took a scarf again and wore dark shades. So imagine you can never identify this person no matter what you try to do, except you use other means. But with that, her outfit, you can't identify her. And she came in with a very big handbag. You know, some women like big handbags, and at such you wouldn't even think of anything like that. This lady, well dressed and all, walked round, was checking. When she saw this nice looking puppy, very portable puppy, she now acted like other people were there, but people were checking out the pets they actually wanted to pick. And so she checked and saw that the environment was looking very busy. Everybody was concerned about what they wanted in the store. She just picked up this puppy and put it into her bag. Immediately, she didn't even turn back. She walked away, and as soon as her husband observed that she had done what they planned to do, he also walked out with her. Unfortunately, they had to use the CCTV camera to trace them at the end of the day, but they were driving a car without a plate number. That made it very difficult, because as soon as they left the spot from that CCTV camera, the CCTV camera showed them walking into their car. And then to check the plate number, there was no plate number. It was a bare car without a plate number. That was how this couple left. And they said that particular pet cost thousands of dollars. Very expensive kind of puppy. They are rare, and their own species is very hard to find. That was what this particular woman stole from the store. You would now be asking yourself a question. These people from their home, is just like, did they plan and tell themselves that this is their business for the day? Because looking at all of this, you'll be wondering, how would matured people come into a store where you know that these people are trying to make ends meet? You will just go pick up their items and you leave. Look at this elderly man. Is he not supposed to be cautioning younger people not to carry out bad activities like this? Instead, he is the one doing this. What is this elderly man now carrying this laptop to go and do? If it was a young guy, you'd be like, okay, this one, you know, these days, a lot of people have used this idea of online activities to do a whole lot of things, and he's out there for the laptop to carry out his own activities. But for the elderly man, you would want to ask yourself, what is he doing with the laptop? Why is he concerned about the laptop? And see how he picked this laptop neatly and was working majestically with it. What if this laptop had slipped off from his pants that he was actually wearing and put it in? What would have happened? That would have been a very big disgrace. And if they start beating him, they'll be like, you're beating an elderly man. But the store owner might be very upset and may carry out beating on him. So if he was faced with this beating now, his family will come out and be raising alarm like, what has happened? Unknown to them that this man is now robbing someone of their own sweat. And that is not nice. Stealing from other people is very bad. No matter how the stealing is, whether you say it's a small thing or a big thing, stealing is stealing. You're robbing someone of their own sweat. You're robbing someone of their own joy or their own source of livelihood. All right, look at this storekeeper. The owner of the store put out that thing for sale, and then rather than getting the money in return, you're watching someone stealing your item and walking away from the store. It's very painful when you're seeing things like this. It's like you're laboring for another man to just come and take your sweat away. It shouldn't be like that. At least people should be able to reap their own sweat, not just sitting down. You work from morning till night, and someone will come out from his house, wake up from his slumber, who is not ready to do anything or fend for himself and his family, will make up their minds that he's stealing. That will be their own way of putting food on their table. Don't be surprised that this elderly man may take this laptop now and go and sell it. You ask him, he will tell you that his family is suffering. All right, look at, you have your 2 hands and your 2 legs that are okay. Why can't you go and use yourself to get a job? Go and apply. It doesn't have to be in the office. There are other places that you can go and apply for a job. It could be a manual job. It could be something that he can use his hands to do. Isn't that better than going to steal? He'll be more honored if he had even gone to start doing any manual labor and then get this money for himself and get the laptop if he really needed the laptop. That is, if he's not going to sell it to get the money and use it for something else. And sometimes some of them, when they steal these items, go and find out they don't even use it for anything reasonable, especially when they eventually sell those things they have stolen. At the end of the day, they can't give account of that money. And sometimes it's like that because you've stolen something from someone. At the end, you can't even make good use of that thing because it was stolen. Please, people should learn to make ends meet with their own hands rather than going to steal from their fellow human being. These are people that are also struggling. Some have sleepless nights. All they're trying to do is to make ends meet, to put food on their table. And then someone will just come from nowhere and rob them of their hard labor. Nobody is happy to see this kind of a thing. At the end of your business working day, instead of you to be happy that customers came in to buy things from you, all you come to see is customers stealing something from you. It's so heartbreaking when the owner of a store would see someone doing this thing to him or her. And this will lead to a lot of things. Now, people will decide that these days, before you leave their store, they may search you. And once they start doing all those search, you wouldn't blame them because these days you can't even identify the people once they've stepped out of the store. Some people, once they left the store, there's no trace of them at all. And then to avoid such, the owner of the store may decide before you leave, there could be a little bit of check to be sure that you're leaving with the item you have bought, not an item that was stolen. In some areas these days, it depends on the amount or the number of items worth a particular amount that you've stolen before you can be charged. If you've stolen items that is not worth up to that amount that they have indicated, then you can freely go away with it. That is what is happening in some locations. Then that would encourage people to steal more, because if they are not charged for stealing, irrespective of the amount quantified to that particular item, then it obviously means that people can just walk into a store, pick an item and check the amount and say it's not worth the amount that they can be charged for, so they are free to go with it and they walk away with it. So how do you stop stealing if this is if rules like this are being set in some places? Please, people should give themselves some kind of respect, self-respect, and avoid you being embarrassed, because sometimes when you're caught, the embarrassment you'll be receiving will be worse than that item you've stolen. In some locations, when you're being caught stealing, the people in that community take the laws into their hands. They don't even wait for the cops to come and handle anything. No, they do it their own way, and it's always very, very terrible when you see the sight of that. But why stealing? Why rob people of their own sweats? Make use of your own hands. Some will give excuses that there are no jobs out there, they didn't go to school. You don't have to go to school before you can make ends meet for your family. You don't need to wait for white-collar jobs sitting in the office before you can make ends meet. These days, a lot of businesses that have come up for people to lay their hands on, so that you don't remain idle. You don't have to stay and complain without making efforts. You could go and learn something, and then once you've learned that thing, try as much as you can to see how you can work from there. Be useful to yourself so long as you are not in any critical condition that would warrant you not to go out to work. As long as you're healthy, you're okay, your hands and your legs are active, do something good with it. Some people who have special needs, they're out there working and making ends meet for themselves. You don't have to have millions for you to start up a business of your own. There are little petty things that you can start with very little capital. Alright, you may say the capital is not there. Then go out there and seek a place where you can assist to work. There are some companies, there are some industries that just need manual labor, or they just need people that would help either put boxes or fix some things. There are places like that. If you find, you will definitely get. No matter the amount you're being paid, it's better than stealing. You'll be more honored having that little salary you receive for whatever manual job you've done than going to steal and then you're caught eventually. That'll be very embarrassing. And if you're unlucky, you're in an environment where people take the laws into their hands, then be rest assured that you may not come out of that place remaining the same. Please learn to be honest in anything you're doing. Don't rob people of their sweat. Try as much as you can to make it on your own without stealing. Robbing people of their sweat is really bad and it comes with consequences. Friends, what do you think about this? An elderly man walking into someone else's store and stealing this laptop. Walked out comfortably without anyone getting hold of him. Please, if you have anything to say, you could put that down at the comment section. Friends, I'll be leaving the video behind so that you can also watch and see for yourself. Thank you for coming up today. Please don't forget to hit on the like button. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Thank you. God bless you all.
Oh, you know the person when you return. I don't know. That's the first time I had to do something like that. You don't forget now. Okay, can I move back? Can I go back?